Hi everyone, may peace be on you all, and welcome to this year's Ramadan episode of I'm a Muslim and That's Okay. For those who can't see me, who are listening to this on your podcast platforms, but for those who can see me on YouTube, they can see that I finally have my logo up on behind me on my wall. It took a while, and geez Louise, I mean, I wish it didn't take this long, but things happen, pandemic. I'm gonna blame the pandemic for everything at this point. But hey, I've got the logo in my background on my wall decal, and it looks good. I think it looks good. And yeah, that's the only opinion that matters. But thank y'all for being here. And another year, another Ramadan. Ramadan is tomorrow for us. Yeah. 2nd of April is our first Ramadan, and for those who have not heard my previous Ramadan episodes, Ramadan is the ninth month in the Muslim calendar, and we follow a lunar calendar. So every year Ramadan is slightly different. If I had to give an approximate, it's usually 10 days prior to the previous year. So last year, I think Ramadan started in the middle of April. So 10 days before that is when it starts this year. So it starts April 2nd. And I was thinking, I've done almost everything in the Ramadan episodes, from what we eat and what we don't eat. But I don't think I'd ever discussed why is it that we celebrate Ramadan. And of course, I had mentioned in those episodes that it is the month in which the Quran was revealed to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But that's not the only significance of Ramadan. That's a big part of why we celebrate Ramadan. But I think most people don't really understand what is the purpose of fasting. It's a question that a lot of Muslims get, that you don't eat or drink anything, even water. And yeah, for Muslims, that's like a normal thing for us during Ramadan, that we don't eat or drink anything, even water. But why is it that we are fasting? And you would get a different answer depending on who you ask, which Muslim you ask. What I was traditionally taught, and this when we were younger, is that we fast so that we know what it's like for those who don't have enough to eat or drink. I think that's one of the aspects of Ramadan and fasting in Ramadan. For those who might not know, but that's not the only stipulation for when we are fasting. It's not just that we can't eat or drink. I think a lot of people are not aware that we also can't have sex during Ramadan. It might come to as a surprise to a lot of people, but yes, that's one of those things that from dawn to dusk, no eating, no drinking, no sex. And the thing is, it is a sort of a practice to really be able to center ourselves in a way that we are not dependent on some of those life's basics in a very carnal sort of way. And it's not just about sex or not having any sex, but food and drink can be a really big driving factor for a lot of people. So when we practice not eating, not drinking, not having sex, it's a way to really center that which is important. And the things that are important are to be able to focus on our deeds. And that's the other aspect of Ramadan, is that, again, I think a lot of people are not aware of this, but as a rule, Muslims are not supposed to really actively engage in things that are wrong. And I'm not just saying like big crimes or anything. No. It's like we are not supposed to lie. We're not supposed to gossip. We are not supposed to engage in almost anything that is, one of those everyday things that we do. We know we're not supposed to, but we do it. But during the month of Ramadan, it is one of our practices that we should be mindful of our deeds. If we are speaking, only good things should come out from our mouths. We should not hurt other people with our words. We should not hurt other people with our actions, and we should be conscious of this. And that's one of those things that practices that Ramadan helps to foster. That it's not just about not eating, not drinking, no sex. It is about mindful of all of our actions and be like, okay, how can I center myself in a way to be a person that isn't dependent on external forces and is not driven by external forces or external needs? And how can I be a better person consciously and actively practice to be better? That is one of those very integral parts of Ramadan and fasting in Ramadan, that we are very conscious of our actions. And it's not easy. Let me tell you that. I mean, as is when you're hungry and you're thirsty, there is a tendency to become what is called hangry. It's a thing. It's a thing. And I'm not saying that we succeed all the time, but we should be aware of, there's certain emotions like really rising up when you're hungry or you're thirsty, and you're like, no, we have to stop. We have to be more patient, and we have to do better. That's how it's sort of, we try to, and again, it's not something that happens automatically. It takes years and years and years of practice, but that is the practice, that we are trying to be better Muslims, better people in the month of Ramadan. And the hope is that it carries over to the rest of the year. That this 1 month, and you can call it like an intense boot camp if you want to see it that way, that the rest of the year you sort of fall into this habit that, doing whatever like goes with the flow. But when Ramadan comes, it's sort of like almost a disruption to that pattern, where you have to be more conscious, more mindful of everything. And that the practice is to be a better person, so you develop habits that continue on for the rest of the year. And that's why we fast. I think that's the thing. We talk about Ramadan, but what most other people don't really realize is that there is a deeper purpose to the fasting and to the entire month when it is dedicated to fasting and prayer. It is to be conscious of other people and the needs of other people, especially when it comes to hunger and thirst and poverty all around the world. And it is a practice to be mindful, to be better people. So I hope y'all found this informational, just a little snippet of what the purpose of Ramadan is. And throughout Ramadan, I'll be doing this series about the other aspects of Ramadan. So stay tuned for that. Thank you everybody who listened in to me and who tuned into my YouTube channel as well. And they can see my logo in my background. So y'all take care of yourself, and may peace be on you all.